Hello and welcome all of you once again. Today we are starting with the unit number 6 of compiler design. As before this already we have completed unit number 1, 2, 3, and after that we are not starting with the unit number 4 or 5 but starting with the unit number 6. Reason behind that, according to the phases of compiler, as you know, we have discussed the unit number 1 as the lexical analysis phase, unit number 2 as a syntax analysis phase, and unit number 3 semantic analysis and the intermediate code generation we have discussed. So maintaining that flow, would like to discuss about the next phase of compiler, that is nothing but our fifth phase of compiler, that is the code optimization. And then afterwards, when you get the time, we'll discuss the unit number 4 and 5th. So today we will discuss about the unit number 6, that is the code optimization, need of the code optimization, and some of the important techniques in the code optimization. As all of you are very much aware that in case of phases of compiler, these different phases already we have discussed. In that we have discussed the lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generation, and today we are discussing about the machine independent code optimization. As all of you know, the compilation is nothing but consists of the sequence of phases. Compilation process consists of the sequences of phases, and each phase take the input from its previous phase and uh, generate some output and give that output as an input to the next phase of compiler. Accordingly, you can see we have discussed first the lexical analysis, which take the input in the form of some higher level language code and generate the tokens. Then that token given as an input to the next phase of compiler, that is the syntax analyzer, which generate the parse tree, and then parse tree given as an input to the next phase, that is the semantic analyzer, whose role is to check whether sentence is meaningful or not by generating the annotated parse tree. And that annotated parse tree given as an input to the next phase of compiler, that is intermediate code generator, which generate the 3 address code as a one of the type of the intermediate code. And that is nothing but our fifth phase, uh, which we are going to discuss now today. So if you see, these phases comes under the front end of compiler. Okay. uh, and if you see our this part comes under the back end of the compiler. Okay, so today we are discussing the first phase in the back end of compiler, that is nothing but our code optimization. So if you can easily see in the diagram also, the code optimization phase, as this is the part you can see. So on which code we generally perform the code optimization? So we generally perform the code optimization on the code that we receive from its previous phase, that is the intermediate code. And this is the phase today we are discussing, that is the machine independent code optimization. And this is our next phase, that is the rest of the compiler, that is the code generation. Okay, that next time we are going to discuss. So code of what exactly mean by the code optimization, first that we will discuss, and then we will discuss the its need, and the third section we will discuss the different types of the code optimization. So in the system programming subject also we have discussed the what exactly the code optimization. So code optimization is nothing but the technique where we do the some modification in the input that we receive. So what input we are receiving? Intermediate code. So we do the some modification in the input intermediate code and some rearrangement in that intermediate code. We make some movement in that intermediate code, and these all the things like doing such kind of transformation changes in the intermediate code, and such kind of modification we do in that intermediate code without without affecting on the final output of the program, or without changing the meaning of the our intermediate code program or the source code. So code optimization is nothing but the doing such kind of modification within a intermediate code level program, which is nothing but the another form of our source code, without changing its meaning. That is called as a code optimization technique. So same thing I have mentioned here, code optimization technique, where compiler can carry out the several transformation in the sense carry out the several changes on the program at an intermediate code, means this code which we are receiving from the intermediate code generator without changing its meaning. So doing the changes in the program without affecting its meaning, that is called as a code optimization. Okay. Now that is the concept of the code optimization, making the changes within a program or doing the rearrangement of the code within a program without affecting the final output of the program. That is called as a code optimization. Okay. Now next thing is what? Why this code as a why this code is called as a machine independent? A main reason behind it is called as a machine independent because this code optimization we are performing before the code generation. Code generation is the last phase of compiler. So we are doing this code optimization before the code generation, and this code optimization don't have to think about anything related with the what is the instruction set of that particular machine, what are the register of that machine. So this in this code optimization, the changes modification that we do, that doesn't have to do anything with the what are the properties of the machine, in the sense instruction set, register. So during this code optimization, the compiler never consider about the instruction set, register of that machine. Understood? That is the reason this code is this optimization is called as a machine independent optimization. Okay. And so that is the reason this is called as a machine independent code optimization. Now next thing you must understand, what is the need of doing the code optimization. I hope all of you understood what exactly is the code optimization. Okay. Now next thing is what is the need of doing it. Now here I have mentioned the optimization is a program transformation. Program transformation in the doing the changes in the program code which try to improve the code by making it consume the less resources and deliver the high speed. Now there is a specific reason behind doing the code optimization. Now first main reason is nothing but how we can make the program to run faster. Okay, that is the first reason. To make the program run faster, we do the code optimization. And second important thing is nothing but how we can make the changes in the program so that less space will be required for that program, less memory will be required for that program. So for these two reasons, we do the code optimization. And the same thing here, it is being mentioned. The code optimization is a transformation technique which try to improve the code by making it consume the less resource of computer. Less resources in the sense it should take the less time of CPU to execute, and it should take the less memory, and execution should happen within a high speed. Okay. So in this phase, the compiler try to improve the intermediate code so that smaller and the faster running machine code can be generated. So in this phase, that is the code optimization. What we try to improve, the intermediate code. That is the input the code optimizer phase receive from its previous phase, that is intermediate code. Okay. So on which code we do the modification, we do the changes, we do the modification changes on the intermediate code. Okay. And we do the changes in a such a way that our intermediate code should not give you the incorrect result. It should give you the correct result. Its meaning should not be get changed. Its output should not be get changed. That everything should remain the same. Only the changes you can do in such a way that your program will become faster and your program will consume the less space on the memory. For these two reasons only the code optimization we perform. Okay. And same thing I have mentioned here in the second slide also, the code optimization in the synthesis phase. So synthesis phase in the sense it's another name for the back end of the compiler. This front end of the compiler is called as the analysis phase, and back end of the compiler is called as synthesis phase. So same thing I have mentioned, the code optimization in the synthesis phase is a program transformation technique, means making the modification in the program technique which try to improve the intermediate code by making it consume the fewer resource, fewer in the less resource, is which resource? CPU and the memory, so that the faster running machine code will be reached. So we do the modification, we do the changes in the intermediate code. Who does it? Compiler does these all the things so that the final target code generated that will be execute in the with the less memory, and that will execute fasterly. Okay. So optimization should increase the speed and performance of the program. That is the only need of the doing the code optimization. Okay. So same thing also I have mentioned here. Code optimization is technique of producing the code that can be faster or take the less space. Okay. So after we generate the machine independent code optimization, then output that we are going to receive, that will be also the intermediate code. But what the difference between this intermediate code and this intermediate code will be what? This intermediate code will be the unoptimized, but this intermediate code will be the optimized intermediate code, because on this intermediate code we are going to do some modification changes, and then we are going to get this new intermediate code which will be the optimized intermediate code. Okay. So code optimization, reason behind why we are calling it as a machine independent, that reason also I have mentioned. The code optimization that will be take place before the final code generation, that will not take into the consideration any machine properties like instruction set, register, etc. That is the reason it is called as a machine independent code optimization. And the code optimization which will be happen after the code generation, that will be called as a machine dependent code optimization, because the code optimization which will happen after the code generation, that has to take into the consideration machine properties like instruction set, register, etc, etc. Okay. Now, so I hope you understood the why we calling it as a machine independent code optimization. Okay. Now let's see the some of the advantage of doing the code optimization. So there are the three main advantages are there. So how we can do the code optimization? What exactly, with the help of which different ways you can do the code optimization? So there are the two main activities using which we can do the code optimization. One activity is what? Eliminating the unwanted code lines. Means within your program, there might be some unwanted code, there might be some redundant code might be present. Redundant code in the sense some repetitive code which is not needed. So removing such kind of code within your program, that is the one activity using which the code optimization can be done. And second activity is what? Rearrangementing the statement of the code. Rearrangementing the statement of the code in the sense moving some part of the code outside the loop or inside the loop, changing the location of the particular fragment from one location to the another, so that processing speed of that program can be improved. Understood? So with the help of these two activities, the code optimization can be done. So these activities being divided into the different code optimization technique that we are going to see in the next part of this particular topic. Okay. So what are the advantages of doing the code optimization? So one main advantage is what? Optimized code has a faster execution speed. Okay, that is the one advantage. Second, the less memory will be required, and because of these two advantage, the performance of your code will be get improved. Performance of the compiler will also get improved, and your compiler will be considered as a more efficient. Understood? So these are the things, that is what exactly is the code optimization, need of the code optimization, and advantages of doing the code optimization. Understood? So what is the code optimization? It is nothing but the modifying the existing intermediate code, changing the existing intermediate code in such a way that final meaning of the program should not be get changed. And why we are modifying and doing the changes? So that your program will be get executed fastly and with the less memory. Okay. So in the next slide we will discuss about the what exactly is the uh, different transformation techniques are there. Okay. So in this next part, we will see the different transformation techniques and how we can achieve the code optimization. That also we'll discuss in this slide. That already I told you, with using the two different ways we can do the code optimization. First way is nothing but the elimination of redundancy, and second way is that we'll do the code optimization. Okay. So you can describe the code optimization in this way also. Code optimization is a technique where compiler can carry out the several transformation of a program at an intermediate level without changing its meaning. Means code optimization is a one particular technique where which is being performed by the compiler, and what it does, compiler do the different or the several transformation or changes on your program, which is intermediate code program, and that changes being done without changing the final meaning of the program. That is called as a code optimization. Okay, so you can describe the code optimization in a different way, like it is a technique where the compiler make the rearrangement of the code
without affecting the final meaning of the program or without affecting the final output of the program. So that is the task of code optimization. Okay. Now here you can see, here I have shown the code optimization. Now code optimization will generate the optimized code, and that will be given as an input to the next phase of compiler. So that will be the our last phase, that is the code generation. Okay, that we'll see in the next lecture. Now, so you understand, I hope you understood what exactly mean by the code optimization. So code optimization or rearrangement of the code can be done in the following ways, or there are the different ways of doing the code optimization. Okay, we are going to see the techniques of code optimization also. So here I have mentioned the code optimization is achieved in following ways. Now, how the code optimization can be achieved and what are the techniques to achieve the code optimization, that we'll see next. But here just see which are the different ways of achieving the code optimization. One of the important way is what? Elimination of redundancy. What? Elimination of redundancy, or removing the redundancy from your code. Now redundancy means what? I hope all of you know redundancy means the repetition of same information within a program, or repetition of same code within your program. Understood? So that is called as a redundancy. The code which is available in the program, which is even if it is, even if it would have not been available, then also our program will work well. That particular thing is called as a redundant code, or you can simply consider elimination of redundant code. Redundant code in the sense what? Some repeated code which is not required in the program. Okay, so here I have mentioned redundancy means repetition of same meaningful words in the sense code in your program or in the particular program instruction. So that is considered as a one of the way, that is the elimination of redundancy, removing the unwanted code from your program, or redundant code or repeated code from your program. Second important way is computation in a program are rearranged or rewritten to make it run faster. Means we can rearrange the code, or we can make some modification in the code in such a way that that program will run faster without affecting the final output of the program. So in this different way, two important ways the code optimization can achieve. One is nothing but what? Now we are going to apply the code optimization on the intermediate code. So in the intermediate code, you have to see, is there any redundancy in your intermediate code? Is there something code is present in your intermediate code which is considered as a repeated code or redundant code? Understood? Also in the intermediate code, you have to see, can you do some changes in that intermediate code so that your program can run faster? Understood? So this thing has to be observed in your intermediate code, and then the code optimization has to be performed. Okay. Now every in the each phase we have discussed this example. Okay. Now for this example, we have received the output from the fourth phase of compiler. That in the fourth phase is our intermediate code generation, and from the intermediate code generation we have received this output. We have received this output for this expression. Okay. From which phase? Fourth phase of compiler. Now this is your intermediate code for this expression. Now how the code optimization can be performed on this particular fragment of code? So this is, here I have written, this is the unoptimized intermediate code, means which can be optimized, means something which is present in this fragment of code which can be get changed without affecting the final output of the program, or some redundant code might be present in this program. Okay, let's see. Now you can see, and for this unoptimized intermediate code, this is the optimized intermediate code. Okay, for this unoptimized intermediate code, this is the optimized intermediate code. Okay, now why we are calling this unoptimized intermediate code and why we are calling this as an optimized intermediate code? Let's see. Now in this program, if you see this first intermediate code instruction, okay, that is t1 equal to into float 50. Okay, means this instruction is doing what? Converting the 50 into the 50.0. But this conversion of 50 of 50.0 already done in the third phase of compiler. Okay, this conversion of 50 into the 50.0 already done in the third phase of compiler. That is our semantic analyzer. Okay, if you see that lecture, you can see there the conversion of 50 conversion of 50 into the 50.0 is done, is already being done in the third phase of compiler, that is the semantic analyzer. So still the in the intermediate code also, we are writing the instruction to do that. So there is a no need of this instruction in the intermediate code. Understood? And that is the reason this instruction or this code is considered as a redundant code. Which code? This first instruction code. Understood? So this can be eliminated. Understood? The same thing I have mentioned here. In an optimized intermediate code, there is a no need to write the expression t1 equal to into float 50. Sorry, t1 equal to into float 50, because 50 as an integer is already converted into the float during the semantic analysis phase of compiler. Okay, so that repeated operation get avoided or removed in code optimization, and we can get the improvement in the previous code. So that from this all discussion, we remove this intermediate code instruction. Okay, and directly we will write t1 equal to id3 into 50.0. Now what is the id3? id3 is nothing but your b. id3 is nothing but what? Your b. And that is the reason here you get the this first optimized IC as a t1 equal to id3 into 50.0, because this 50 of conversion of 50 into the 50.0 already done. That is the reason we write here t1 equal to id3 into 50.0. The same instruction you can also write in this way: t1 equal to b into 50.0. That is also correct, no problem. Okay, now then, what is the next? Now because of these things we have done, because of this instruction we have written already, we have got the intermediate code for these whole things. Understood? So now we also avoid to write these two instruction also. How? Let's see. So we can, from this we can directly write id1 equal to id2 plus t1. What? id1 equal to id2 plus t1. You can write this instruction directly like this also, like x is equal to a plus t1 also, meaning is same. Means for these three instruction, okay, for this sorry, this let me tell you, for this two instruction you write only one instruction here. That is correct. t1 equal to id3 into 50. So meaning of these two instruction is like this one. Understood? And for these two instruction we can write only the single instruction id1 equal to id2 plus t1, and its meaning is same like this two instruction. Understood? So we have converted these four intermediate code instruction into the two instruction only. Means what is get saved here? Definitely the space gets saved. And if the space gets only the, now processing of the this two instruction has to be done instead of four instruction. So time requirement for the processing and the execution will also be get saved. So space efficiency improve, time efficiency improve, and that is nothing but the called as a concept of code optimization. That is what making the changes within a original code by making some changes or by eliminating the redundancy from the code, or by doing the rearrangement in the code, whatever code we get, that code is called as a optimized intermediate code. Understood? If you see the meaning of this particular fragment of code and meaning of this fragment of code is exactly same. Only this three address code we have converted into some another form, but this bus 3 address code is better as compared with this in the form of space efficiency and in the form of the time efficiency. The meaning of both of is same. Understood? So that is the concept of code optimization, making the changes within a program without affecting the final meaning of the program. That is called as a code optimization. Okay, that is called as what? The code optimization. Okay, now there are the different ways of doing the code optimization on which the question usually asks. There are the different code optimization techniques are available. So our next point is nothing but the discussion regarding the different phases of the code optimization, or sorry, different techniques of the code optimization. Okay, so here I have mentioned a compiler can carry out the several transformation of a program. Several transformation in the sense compiler can do the several changes in the program at intermediate code level. Means the compiler can perform the changes in the intermediate code without changing its meaning. Okay, without changing its meaning. Now, in order to do that, these are the different techniques are available. Okay, in order to do that, these are the different techniques are available. Okay, and in detail, we will discuss about this technique with the example. Like we have the uh, uh, first technique, compile time evaluation, which again consists of the two technique, constant folding and the constant propagation. Then we have the dead code elimination, code movement, strength reduction, and the common sub expression elimination. These are the important techniques in case of the code optimization. Okay, so let's see the techniques in that first technique, compile time evaluation. Now, what is the meaning of compile time evaluation? Or the its meaning is straightforward, that whatever the computation or evaluation that can be done at the compile time only, that has to be done at the compile time only, and that is being done by the compiler itself without doing that evaluation at the runtime. If there is some code present in your program, which code can be computed at the compilation time only, doing that particular computation, that is called as a compile time evaluation, without putting the extra burden during the runtime. Okay, so in that first technique we have the constant folding. Okay, what is the that is the constant folding. Now, instead of discussing this theory part, we'll directly discuss the example, then we come to the theory part. For example, in your program you have written this instruction. That instruction is what? Circumference of circle equal to 22 by 7 into the diameter. Okay, now in this instruction, can we do the compile time evaluation? Is it possible to do the compile time evaluation of this instruction? Now this instruction will be get execute when we'll run that, but during the compile time only also, is it possible to do the evaluation? Yes, you can do the evaluation of this particular code. Like you can do the evaluation of this particular thing, 22 by 7. There is no need to do the processing of this 22 by 7 at the runtime. It is possible to do the computation of this during the compile time only. Understood? So that is called as a constant folding. Understood? So this is the constant term, 22 by 7. Understood? Its result will be 3.14. So doing the computation of these kind of things at the compile time only, that is called as a constant folding, and that is also being referred as a compile time evaluation. Here same thing I have mentioned. As the name suggests, it involves folding the constant, means evaluating the constant during the compile time only. The expression that contain the operands having the constant value at the compile time are evaluated. Means in your expression there are the certain operand having the constant values, then that get evaluated at the compile time. Okay, those expression are then replaced with their respective results. Understood? And now whatever the result of this evaluation, that is the third result will be the 3.14. So instead of 22 by 7, here 3.14 will be get replaced. What? 3.14. So no need to do the computation at the runtime for this, because this computation is already being happening at the compile time, and that is the reason it is called as a constant folding, and that is being referred as a compile time evaluation. So this technique evaluate the expression 22 by 7 at compile time. This expression then replace with its result, that is the 3.14. Now what it save? This save the time at the runtime. Okay, what it save? This save the time at the runtime, because in the runtime it might happen this 22 by 7, maybe you compute it 10 times. Understood? It depends on your program. In your program you may need it to compute it 10 times, but once it is being computed at the compile time and replace it with the 3.14, there is a no need to compute this 22 by 7 10 times during the runtime. And if it is not required, then definitely the runtime will be get save, your program will be get executed faster. And this is nothing but the code as what? One of the technique of code optimization. You are making your code to run more faster as compared with your previous code without affecting the final meaning of the program. And this is the first technique in that is under the category of compile time evaluation, and that is called as what? The constant folding. Okay, I hope all of you are understood this. Then under the compile time evaluation, we have the second technique, that is the constant propagation. What? Constant propagation. Okay, now let's see the example, then we go to the theory. Now what is the constant propagation? See, consider this is the fragment of code in your program. You have written the one variable equal to, that is a pi equal to 3.14. You have one variable you have declared with the radius equal to 10, And below somewhere you have written the formula area of circle equal to pi into radius into radius. Now is it possible to do the evaluation of these particular terms at the compile time only? Is it possible? Yes, because you know the value of pi, you know the value of radius, so you can, it is directly possible to evaluate these evaluate these terms as a result 314. Understood? Now, if it is being get evaluated at the compile time only, then during the runtime there is a no need to evaluate this again and again. Understood? So same thing I have mentioned here, and this is called as a constant propagation. Means you are propagating this constant, you are using this constant in this formula here only, and you are doing the evaluation during the compile time. So same thing I have mentioned. If some variable has been assigned constant value, then it replaces that variable with its constant value in the further program during the compilation. So the condition now, if there is some variable, yes, there is a variable, yes, there is a pi variable radius having the constant value. So you can replace this variable in this formula with this constant values. Now one important condition is there for the constant propagation. Now value of the pi will never going to be changed, but this variable you have mentioned radius equal to 10. Now suppose this is being evaluated here as a 314, but somewhere in the program, if the radius, again you declare the radius with the another value, that will be suppose 15, then at that time this propagation of 10 will not happen in the next formula, if this formula is also written somewhere in next part of the program. So that time this 10 will not be utilized, but 15 will be utilized. Understood? If this, that is the reason here I have mentioned the condition for the constant propagation. Condition is what? The condition is that the value of variable must not get changed, must not get altered in between. In between in the sense, suppose you have written this formula of area of circle at the, now here you have declared the pi 3.14, here you have declared the radius equal to 10, and here you have declared, here you have written the formula area of circle equal to pi into r into r. Okay, now here you are this 3.14 and this value of radius will be get utilized. Understood? But now see, in the next part of program, again you declare the radius as a 11, and in now this is your formula present at the line number 10 for example, and again you have written the formula at the line number 15 to calculate the area of circle. Understood? Now here constant propagation will not happen here related with the radius now, because here after declaring this as a 10, again you have declared it as a 11, so 11 will be get utilized, not the 10 here. Understood? So when the constant propagation can get success, only when the value of variable should not get changed throughout the program, means value of the radius should not get changed throughout the program, that time only you can replace this variable with this radius, and that time the constant propagation will consider as a successful. So that is the same thing I have mentioned. So if this thing is being satisfied, then constant propagation as a part of the compile time evaluation can be performed. So constant propagation is nothing but what? If there is some variable has been assigned some constant value, then replacing that variable with its constant value in the further program during the compilation, that is called as a constant propagation. So this technique substitute the value of variable pi and the radius at the compile time only instead of runtime, and it then evaluate the expression like this 3.14 as a into 10 into 10, and the expression is then replaced with the result 314. So this expression will be replaced with the value 314. So this is also saving the time at the runtime. So if this computation is done, if the condition is satisfied, then this computation can be done at the compile time only. And if this is being done at the compile time, no need to put the extra effort, no need to do the processing of these things when during the runtime. Understood? So this is also making our program faster because of the constant propagation, and that is called as a compile time evaluation. So compile time evaluation is the most important technique. We usually compiler does this kind of code optimization on our program. Understood? So that is the first technique of code optimization, that is a compile time evaluation, where we make the changes in the program, or we make the evaluation of the program, that is the intermediate code, and without doing that at the runtime if it is possible. Now when it can be possible, It can be possible if the constant folding can be done, and it can be possible if the constant propagation can be done. Okay. Now let's see the next important technique in the code optimization, that is the common sub expression elimination. Okay. Now first, in order to understand what exactly mean by the common sub expression elimination. Okay. Now let's understand what do you mean by the common sub expression first. The expression that has been already computed before and appears again in the code for computation, that is called as a common sub expression. So that is also considered as the redundant code also, or redundant expression also. What? The expression that has already been computed before and appear again in the next part of the code and appear again in the code for computation, that is also called as a common sub expression, or that is called as a redundant expression. Now let's see that in this example. Now here you are written s1 equal to 4 into I, s2 equal to, consider this is your part of your program, s2 equal to a of s1, s3 equal to 4 into j, s4 equal to 4 into I. Now this is the common sub expression. What? This is the common sub expression or redundant expression, because see the definition, the expression that has already been computed before, s4 equal to 4 into I already computed here, and appear again in the code for computation. Now this is appear again in the code for computation. That is the reason this is called as a common sub expression or the redundant expression. So elimination of such kind of expression from your intermediate code, that is called as a code optimization technique as a common sub expression elimination, and this is the most popular and the famous code optimization technique applied by the code optimizer in the compiler. Okay. So as the name suggests, it involves the elimination of the common sub expressions, like here I have shown you. The redundant expression are eliminated to avoid their recomputation. This is already being computed. Why there is a need? Why the computation need to be done again? So doing the computation again is not making any sense. Only it will consume the space and the time. Understood? So removing such kind of thing from your code, that is called as a common sub expression elimination as a code optimization technique. Okay. So the already computed result is used in the further program whenever required. So whenever you require these things, now here you can see, here you are requiring the S4. Okay. Now instead of using the S4 here, you can utilize the S1, because result of S4 and the S1 is same. So these kind of changes when we do in this original code, then we get the optimized code. So this is your code before the optimization, and this is the code after the optimization. Now what changes we have done? Let's see. So this is we have written as it is. Okay. Then s2 equal to a of s1, s2 equal to a of s1. This is also as it is, we can write. Then s3 equal to 4 into j. That is also you can write as it is. And s4 equal to s4 equal to 4 into I. Now this is the redundant. There is no need to write it again. So this is being eliminated here, and directly we have written s5 equal to n, and s6 equal to b of s1 plus s6 equal to b of s1 plus s5. Now instead of s4, because we have eliminated this, you cannot write s4 again here. So instead of that, you write s1. Understood? Instead of that, compiler will do what? Instead of writing this s1 equal to 4 into I, and s1 equal to 4 into I, and s4 equal to 4 into I 2 times, compiler will simply write it once. Okay. And here, instead of using the s4, compiler will replace it with the s1. So your meaning of the program will remain same, the output will remain same. Only you are doing some kind of rearrangement within a code without affecting the final meaning of the code. But this rearrangement reducing your program. So here are how many instructions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here are only the 5. Here are the 6 instructions. Here are the 5. So space gets saved, time gets saved, and this is nothing but the considered as one of the major improvement within a code as a part of the code optimization. Okay, I hope all of you have got this. Now next code optimization technique is called as a code movement. Now what exactly this? Now we'll go to the theory after discussing the example first. Now this is the code before the optimization, and this is the code after the optimization. What is the code you have written? Let's see. For loop you have taken int j of 0, j is less than n, j plus plus, and within a loop what you have written x equal to y plus z, a of j equal to 6 into j. Now how many times this code will run? For example, consider to me n value declare के लिए 10. Consider you have declared the n equal to 10 somewhere. So this loop will run 10 times. Understood? But you can see, is there any operation happening on this x equal to y into z? Is the value of y into z is getting changed here within this loop? No. Even this code will run 10 times. Value of this x will be the remain same. That is the y plus z. But this will going to be processed 10 times, yes or no? But is there any sense processing this 10 times if there is a no change happening in the value of this x equal to y plus z? No. Here there is a no need to execute these 10 times, or there is a no need to process this instruction 10 times. So can you write it in the another way? Still the meaning of this for loop will remain same. Let's see. Yes, if you write it like this, x is equal to y plus z, and remaining part as it is, still the meaning of these two fragment of code is same. Only here, in case of this will be going to be processed 10 times. Here it will not be going to be processed 10 times, only one time, and still it is having the same meaning. Understood? So that is called as a code movement code optimization. So you are doing the code optimization as a code movement because it can be done. If you move this x is equal to y plus z before this loop, then it is not going to affecting on the final output of the code. Understood? Why it is not going to affect? Because here you are not changing the any value of y, z or x. It is remaining same. Understood? So if you move this out of the loop, then your processing time will get reduced, and if your processing time will get reduced, that is considered as a efficiency improvement in the form of time. Understood? So moving the code out of loop, that is considered as a code movement technique without affecting the final output. Okay. So same thing I have mentioned, as the name suggests, it involves the movement of the code. The code present inside the loop is move out of it. The code present inside the loop is move out if it does not matter whether it is present inside or the outside. So it doesn't matter here, x is equal to y plus z, whether it is a present inside or present outside, it doesn't matter. But if it is present inside, then it is a wastage of time. So why should not we should write it outside loop? So compile do it and write it outside loop, or such kind of changes can be happen from the programmer itself also. Okay. So such a code unnecessarily get execute again and again. So if you put this within a loop, this code will get execute again and again with each iteration of the loop. So this lead to the wastage of time at a runtime, and that is the reason movement of this can be done outside the loop. This code optimization technique is referred as a code movements. Understood? So that is also one important technique that is considered as a code optimization under the using the code movement. So sometimes it can be happen from the programmer itself. So compiler will do the optimization of this kind of code in this way. Okay, by doing the movement of code. Fourth important technique is the dead code elimination. This is also the important optimization. Now optimization has to be done from the compiler because of some of the mistake that might be happen from the programmer in the rearrangement of the code. Okay. So let's see the example first, and then we'll see the theory. So this is the code before the optimization. What is the code? I equal to 0. If I equal to 1, here assignment of I to the 0 to the I. Then here if I equal to 1, then do this operation. What operation? A equal to x plus 5. Okay. Now you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 lines of code is reduced to the one line of code one. Why? Because in this code, this code is considered as a dead code. What this code is considered as a dead code. Why? Because what is the condition returned if I equal to 1? Now I is never going to be equal to 1 because here is I is initialized to 0. Understood? So this part will never going to be executed. Understood? But it is consuming the space within a program. Yes or no? It is consuming the space within a program. So can it be eliminated? Yes, without affecting the final out of the program. Yes, it can be eliminated, and that is the reason this code is considered as a dead code, and that is being after getting elimination we get the code optimization like this, only the I equal to 0, because of this condition this whole part is not going to execute. If it is not going to execute, then it is considered as a dead code. Understood? So same thing I have mentioned. As the name suggests, it involves eliminating the dead code. The statement of the code which either never execute or unreachable or their output is never used are eliminated. So which code we can code the dead code? The code which is never going to be executed, or the code which is unreachable, that code is considered as a dead code. And when the compiler apply the dead code elimination, then that is considered as one of the code optimization technique. So this is the fourth technique, that is the dead code elimination. And let's see the last one, that is the strength reduction technique. Okay. Now, as the name suggests, it involves the reducing the strength of expression. Now, first you need to understand what do you mean by the strength of expression. Now, strength of expression depends on strength of the operator which is used in that expression. Means what? Plus operator is having the less strength as compared with the multiplication. Okay. And subtraction is having the less strength as compared with the division. Understood? Less strength, more strength means what? If in your program more strength operators are utilized, then more processing time can be required. If in your program less strength operator is being utilized, then you require the time required to process that code will be the less. Understood? So if in the certain expression high strength operator are present, it if it is possible to replace it with the low strength operator, then that is considered as a code optimization using the technique as a strength reduction. So let's see, this technique replace the expensive and costly operators. Now which are the expensive and the costly operators as compared with the plus and minus? So as compared with the plus and minus, star and division operators are the expensive and the costly operators. So replacing the expensive and the costly operators with the less expensive and the less cost operator, that is called as a strength reduction. Here I have written, this is the technique which replaces the expensive and the costly operator with simple and the cheaper one. Means replacing the plus with the star, sorry, replacing the yes, replacing the plus operator on the place of star operator and replacing the subtractor operator at the place of the division operator. Let's see in the example. So this is the consider code you have written in your program, that is b equal to a into 2. So can we write it the different way with the less strength operator? Yes, it can be written like this, b equal to a plus a. So meaning of this and the meaning of this is the still same. Only what you have done, you have replaced the expensive and the costly operators with the less expensive and the less cost operator, but the meaning is same. So this is called as a strength reduction. That is what? Replacing the expensive and the costly operator with less expensive and the less costly operator. That is called as a code optimization without affecting the final meaning of the program. So in this, what you have done, the expression a into 2 is replaced with the expression a plus a. So this is because the cost of multiplication operator is higher than cost of addition operators, and that is called as a strength reduction. This can be done only if it is possible, and it can be done by the compiler, and this all the technique is considered as a code optimization technique. So these techniques, all the techniques with the example we have seen, I hope all of you understood. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. I will definitely answer all your doubts. Thank you all of you.